What once began as a test for man has turned into a fury of pulling power. From air-launching monster trucks to the quest for speed and time, the unlimited matching of wheels and motors has sent us spinning into the world of wheel power, power-packed motorsports. It's the excitement of power that puts man on the edge and the quest for victory that takes him over.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Wheel Power, the program that brings you all the action in tractor and truck pulling. Hi, everybody, I'm Dave Grimm. Tonight, we're coming to you from the Indiana State Fair Coliseum in Indianapolis, Indiana, for the 16th annual nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull, sponsored by Billis Chevrolet. This is the granddaddy of all tractor and truck pulls in the country today, and we've got a little bit of everything when it comes to pulling. The modified tractors bring the house down every time. The 3, 4, 5, 6 engines, and yes, even 7 Chevrolets in one chassis. They'll raise the roof here at the Indiana State Fair Coliseum. Nearly 10,000 horsepower in most of these tractors here tonight. The big V8 along with the Allison. It's a spectacular show of brute horsepower. It'll be exciting competition, and we'll be right back with it right after this commercial message.
Watch out.
Tim Engler, the sports premier tractor driver and builder. This young man out of Princeton, Indiana, is responsible for building a number of vehicles in this and the two-wheel drive class. This tractor debuting brand new last year with a radically different look than most other tractors in the class. Tim Engler, the only man to finish 1, 2, and 3. Tim Engler, only man to finish in the first position in all 3 classes on the NTPA Grand National Circuit this summer after last year's monumental feat of finishing all 4.
And John, a real innovator in the last 5 years. Tim Engler now has really risen to the top of the modified tractor pulling ranks. For many years, it was the Banner Brothers name that we heard so much. Now it's the Engler name. And I'm not sure over the roar of the tractors if I missed it, but first guy to put 5 engines in a 7,000-pound class.
Let's take a look and see how he does. He's hooked up right now out of Princeton, Indiana, the southern part of the state. Tim Engler and Mission Impossible.
Oh, he really got bounced around. Oh, my word. Tim Engler really getting bounced around. We could see the frame was flexing a lot. He was having trouble controlling it. He got over to the left-hand side. So much horsepower torquing on that chassis, it was giving him lots of problems.
Now, once again, keep in mind, Engler, the number 1 hook in the class, it is his option as test puller. He has the option to either decline or take this pull. And I would suggest you, Dave Grimm, Tim Engler would likely drop this pull. Tim Engler has broken a brake caliper on his tractor. He's going to drop to the last position. They also want to take a look at least 1 or 2 more vehicles. So Engler's going to drop to the last, try and fix that brake caliper, and come on back in the final position tonight.
All right, so here we go now. A brand new tractor for the Banner Brothers for 1989. This is the inaugural run of this machine, and you'll notice that David Banner is sitting over on the right-hand side of the tractor. Later on in the 9, you will see him run 5 engines in here and then move up to 6, and he can put the back engine right between the back 2 tires. So a brand new chassis, a brand new design, and the Banner Brothers are real anxious to see how it'll work out.
Well, you know they are, Dave, because they want to take a shot at the big blue one. Ralph Banner and David have been long-time innovators in this sport. Then along comes Engler and gives them a run for their money. Well, knowing Ralph Banner and David, they're not going to stand still, and they're not going to stand for that. Brand new creation. Let's take a look at how it works.
They don't like second place. Let's see if they can do it right here. It's going to be a tough, competitive class. Who's your favorite? The Banner Brothers. Massingbird, for the first time, I think you've got to call that a very successful run.
No doubt about it, David. I'll tell you, I'd rather have nobody in the seat other than David Banner for the first run on a tractor with that much horsepower. Nobody has more seat-of-the-pants driving sense than Dave Banner. A tremendous effort on a brand-new vehicle right here at the 16th annual Kendall Nationwide Indy Super Pull. Rolling in right now, finishing number 6 on the World Championship Series this year. Doing the driving out of Richfield Springs, New York, the tractor housed in Ware, New Hampshire, the Sassy Massey team of John and Brian Knox and Phil Patterson. Distance he needs to beat is 2:05 and 3, currently held by the number 1 tractor, Dave Banner, out of Warren, Indiana. Let's take a look now as the Sassy Massey goes in its quest to go 2:05 and 3. All right, Dave Grimm, it looks like we've got a new leader. You'll notice track officials moving the Kendall leader flag down past the 200-foot mark.
Phil Patterson, looks like everybody early in this class has had some handling problems. Tell us about it.
She wanted to take me to the left real bad. I don't think it's in the track. Our tractor's been noted to do that, and we thought we'd made some changes and corrected it, but we haven't got it yet.
A track that has soft spots can change a puller's direction. A well-balanced tractor keeps the front end well in the air, 12 to 18 inches, keeping the weight of the tractor on either rear wheel. Control of the tractor is achieved by applying brakes to either rear wheel, pulling the tractor in that direction. Too much brake cuts horsepower and can shorten the distance of the puller's run.
Classic Racing presents
7,200 modified tractor class. Phil Patterson holds the lead with a run of 218 feet. Let's go trackside as we get ready for our next puller in the class.
Dave Walsh doing the driving for the Walsh family entering the Irish Challenger. 640 cubic inches of fuel-injected supercharged Arias racing engine.
Beautiful pull for the Walsh brothers as they come down the left-hand side of the track. And Davey Walsh lifts that front end in spectacular fashion. He's very close to the end of the track. He is right on the end. It's going to be close to 234. All right, Dave Walsh, a real good pull. And from our angle, it looked like just the kind of run you wanted to make. But everybody's been pulled a little bit to the left-hand side of the track. Is that by design?
No, that's nice in the track. I don't know, everybody's going to the left. I don't know why. My tractor should have been going to the right, but it didn't. So it's in the track.
Now you went 231 and 8, just a couple feet short of a full pull. What do you think your chances are of being in the pull-off?
Well, there's probably 1 or 2 left out there that can go the distance too.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave.
Holding the number 1 position, the Walsh brothers at 231 and 8. 231 feet 8 inches is the distance Dave Banner's going to have to go with Mr. Chevy. Mr. Chevy, the heartbeat of America, the Banner brothers. Nobody, but nobody, has won more Indy Super Pulls than the Banner brothers. These were the guys that kicked off a high horsepower, multi-engine race that we see in tractor pulling. Dave, this tractor comes from Holland. He's all the way in from Holland. He is the Dutch champion. His name is Epke Dijkstra. He's running a V12 Rolls-Royce aircraft engine in this tractor.
He has been European champion in 1979, 1984, and 1988 in the 7,000-pound modified class. He was the first ever Dutch champion in Holland in 1978. It's a Rolls-Royce V12 Merlin engine. He built it in 1983. Rhinosaurus.
He's running a V12 Rolls-Royce aircraft engine in this tractor.
The tractors came into Montreal on the ship. They arrived on Tuesday. They had to go up. Slack Lumber out of Canada went up and got the container. They shipped it on cast. First time European tractors ever in America. Here we go. F.K. Dykstra. Dykstra from Holland, ladies and gentlemen, 43 years old, the first time ever in America. Let's hear it for him. Rhinosaurus, #1, the European champion. Your first time ever pulling here in America. Well, what do you think?
I'm very nervous.
How many pulls do you go to a year in Europe?
We have in Europe 2 indoor pools only in Holland, and then outdoor pools 10 or 11.
Okay, thank you very much. F.K. Dykstra from Holland, ladies and gentlemen. Give him another big round of applause and a welcome to America. Spectacular competition as the first European driver and tractor come to America here at the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull.
Dwayne Park out of Elizabethtown, New York. Still in the #1 position, the Walsh brothers at 2:31 and 8, holding down #2. The Sassy Massey team, Phil Patterson doing the driving at 2:18 and 0. And in the #3 position, the Banner brothers, brand new tractor at 2:05 and 3. Running a tractor that a lot of you may have been familiar with over the years. Used to run a tractor called the Thumper 1, originally owned by Dan Utz out of Ohio. He bought the tractor and put a single Allison in it, and now has decided to step up to a brand new twin.
Wayne Clark's pull of 179 feet won't put him in competition for the lead, but the Thumper 2 has nothing to be ashamed of as he competes with some of the hottest modified tractors in the world.
Not exactly 5 or 6, probably what you and I...
As the next tractors prepare for their chance at the dirt, we'll be right back for more power-packed motorsports.
Heath Black Hemis.
And Dave Grimm coming out right now. These guys are the giant killers of the sport. Out of Albion, Indiana, the entry of the Gertie brothers. Dan Gertie doing the driving, the empty pocket pulling team. I'll tell you, if we saw it once this year, we saw it a couple of times. The guys in the empty pocket teams beating the big 4 and 5 engine model. These guys are extra tough. They're the team you got to take a look at and watch tonight, because if you give them a break, they're going to eat you alive every time. Tremendous pullers, and nobody puts more heart into the sport than the Gertie family out of Albion, Indiana. That, Dave Grimm, is why I call these guys the giant killers. A good pass for Dan Gertie on the empty pocket modified tractor. And once again, one more entry using Kendall GT1 motor oil. This guy gives a whole new meaning to the phrase running them on the ragged edge. Nobody runs Allison aircraft engines any harder than Carter Stone out of Middlebury, Vermont.
Well, we saw him at KUB International Speedway in Canada this past year. He put some rods right out on the track, and he was so disgusted. Things just did not come together in 1988. He's had a lot of repair work And these Allisons, as they pump more air into the engine, are taking their toll. So he's going to try something totally new for 1989. Gardner Stone. He's an automobile dealer from Middlebury, Vermont. Mr. LDL. You talk about a Statue of Liberty display. There it is, Old Glory, spouting flames out there as the alcohol burns off. Early in the class, Tim Engler had problems with handling, and he decided to drop to the end of the class, which the test puller has the option of doing. Here's the class of the field in modified competition. The #1 tractor in America today. He's had tough luck here in the past of the Indy Super Pull. In fact, a very controversial call a year ago cost him a win here. But he's got a stiff upper lip. He says, I'm going to be back, and I'm going to keep it right down the center of the track, and I'm going to give it my all and show the fans here in the Hoosier State that I can come back a winner in 1989. The Mission Impossible team, Tim Engler out of Princeton, Indiana, the young man who is on the top of the world in modified tractor pulling competition. Doesn't mess around. A good pull as he tears up a lot of dirt. Right down near the end of the track. It's going to be very close to the Walsh brothers team. And that's going to put Engler now, I believe, in the top 2. Here's the nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull.
It will be Tim Engler running against Dave Walsh as they come back for a guaranteed top 2 pull-off. Stay tuned. Introducing AmberVision. Don't miss real action when Hart Productions comes to your town. Next stop, Phoenix City, Alabama, April 1st and 2nd at the East Alabama Motor Speedway. You'll see super stock tractors in the 7,000 and 9,000 pound classes. But before the smoke can clear, the 2-wheel drives pull in for supercharged wheel standing action. As they add weight to the sled, you know it's time for the incredible power of the multi-engine tractors. From 3 and 5 engine 7,000 pound class to 9,000 pound 6 and 7 engine powerhouses. As the caravan of puller power moves on, they find themselves at the State Fair Coliseum in Syracuse, New York for 3 big days, April 7th, 8th, and 9th. You'll see 4-wheel, 2-wheel drives and 7,200 modified tractor classes. If you see a Power Pack Motorsports show that you like, just send $14.95 to Victory Productions. Please include your name, address, and show requested.
As the track crew does some work in the background preparing this track for the pull-off, we can tell you that the top 2 that will come back for the pull-off in this class will be Dave Walsh and Tim Engler, the 2 top trackers in this class. The class started off a little shaky as the drivers had some handling problems. But then as they looked at driver after driver, they settled down, and this became a real good class right down to the finish. So it'll be Wisconsin against Indiana, and I would call this class a toss-up. Let's see which driver takes it all.
And talking about #1, here's the #1 tractor so far tonight. 231 feet, 8 inches first time around. Exactly 10 feet even ahead of Tim Engler. Out of Boston, Wisconsin, Dave Walsh doing the driving. The Walsh family entry, the Irish Challenger.
They got wild on the tractor. He had to shut it down. He was out of control. The Irish Challenger came off the line. He was a little light on the front end, probably by design, because when you go to a pull-off, you take some chances. But all of a sudden, it got very uncontrollable. He headed for the right-hand side of the track, and Dave Walsh had to shut it down, or he would have been off the track. Well, you remember, ladies and gentlemen, it was just a year ago here at the Indy Super Pull that a very distraught and disappointed Tim Engler, who had a real close call on the left-hand corner of the track here at the finish line, was called out of bounds. Tim Engler doesn't have to go a long way to win this pull here tonight, but we've seen some funny things happen here at the Indy Super Pull, so he'll put the hammer down and go all out to win this 7,000-pound modified. The Hoosier native from Princeton, Indiana, up next, Tim Engler. Well, that's all he had to do. Tim Engler picked it up, made a picture-perfect run. He knew that if he just kept it in control, he'd be able to win this pull here tonight. So Engler, the Hoosier native, has won his first 1989 Indy Super Pull class, the 7,000 modified. Tim Engler, no question about it, a real good straight run in 1989. I'm sure that was by design.
Well, it was. We had changed the rotor on the right rear of the tractor and had a new master cylinder on it. The first pass, the rotor just wasn't grabbing the brake pads, and it got hot enough, I guess, there at the end, and finally it did. But my body got on the throttle, made me look kind of like a fool, like I was trying to get back on the throttle, but I just couldn't keep off the throttle. That might have told us that maybe we definitely need seat belts on tractors.
He had nothing but good luck here tonight in the 7,000 modified. Tim Engler wins it over Dan Walsh. Well, now for everybody here at the Nationwide Kendall Indy Super Pull and for Power Pack Motorsports, I'm Dave Grimm. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Don't miss a Hart Productions event coming to your town. Tune in next week as man continues his quest for speed, power, and control. Power Pack Motorsports. It's your ringside ticket to excitement.
What do you